What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Lesson Thoughts Podcast. I am your host, Digital Relaxation. We are back again for another episode. And as always, if you guys enjoyed what you hear, what you're gonna hear, please be sure to share this podcast, rate it, all that good stuff. And let's get right into it, man, because I don't think I have a lot to say. So obviously, what I've been up to. Short answer, nothing really. Nothing in depth, really. Just living life. Which I guess that's the life section. But before I get into the life section, gaming, of course. I mentioned last episode that I don't know if I did mention last episode. If I mentioned that I'm trying to get back into streaming or whatever. I finally started up streaming. Been streaming. I'm going to stream after this. Doing the Assassin's Creed franchise, at least the first 5 games before the release of Shadows, and then I'll stream Shadows. But if I beat the 5 games before that time, I'll just keep going until Shadows, which I don't know, I'm iffy on, because right now I'm still playing the first game and realizing I keep forgetting that February is the shortest month. So and Assassin's Creed 1 don't it gets boring. It does get boring. It's a good game, but it wasn't executed properly. So I'm starting to doubt the other games that are more drawn out and more longer. I'm like, I might actually not have too much time. So let me make sure I beat the first 5 games at least, and then we can go on from there. But yeah, stream came back. I got it all set up. Spent my time setting it up. I have it looking like basically the theme is basically from my favorite anime, Eden of the East, and I'm doing webcam, so you can see my face. If you want to pop up to my stream. I'm streaming on both Twitch and YouTube. I finally figured out how to fix the YouTube thing. Both Digital Relaxation, as you already know, as my name as the host of the podcast. But yeah, so finally getting into streaming. Just need to figure out a solid schedule, I guess. I mean, I do, but not really. Because like I said, I want to get these 5 games done. So I'm trying to stream as much as I can so I can get these 5 games done. And then I can stream Shadows. Side tangent on Shadows, of course, it's getting a lot of, it's been getting hate since like its inception, because a lot of those people with the going woke, there's a female lead, there's a black samurai, that's not historically accurate, but yeah, whatever. People complain about nothing, whatever. I'm at the point where I could care less about the story. Like, it's the Assassin's Creed story done failed me, because that's the reason why I'm playing the first 5 games, because that's when it actually had a legit story as well as a good game at the same time. And the rest of them has just been hit or miss games, but weak stories, really. So all I'm asking for at this point is just a good assassin game, because they strove so far away from the whole assassin formula. Like, when they went into the new RPG style, Origins was a good game. Now, Origins was a great game. It was a great assassin story, but the main story is what I'm talking about when I say the story is bad. There's the main modern day story that's going on throughout the games, and they never really picked it up properly since the ending of Assassin's Creed 3. So yeah, but Origins was the title of the name, was the origins of the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. So obviously he wasn't really too much of an assassin in the lore until like towards the end of the game, when he's like, all right, this is what we do, this is who we are now. Then we got Odyssey, which was technically before Origins. So if the Brotherhood started in Origins, that means there were not assassins in Odyssey, but it's called Assassin's Creed, but there's no assassins. So that's the only reason why I couldn't get into that game, because like, if it's named something else, it'll be a great game. And I heard it's a great game, but it's because the name is Assassin's Creed and there's no Assassin's Creed. It's like, what am I playing? It's like Ubisoft. It's just like Ubisoft wanted to make a new game, but they was afraid of like people like it not doing well because it's a new IP. So they just said, "Oh, let's just say it's Assassin's Creed. At least we'll get sales just off the name of Assassin's Creed, and let people figure out if it's good or not from there." And luckily for Odyssey, for the most part, people enjoyed Odyssey. It was just long, and of course, I enjoyed Origins. Then we got Valhalla, which takes place after Origins, but from my understanding of the game, the main character does not even really adopt none of the assassins. Like, I don't think he or she, depending on the canon option of who you pick. I believe the canon option is the male for Valhalla, and for Odyssey, the canon option is the female. But yeah. But whoever you pick, I don't even think they even joined the Brotherhood or anything. They just messed around with them. Like, hey, yo, you cool? We're gonna give you a hidden blade, and that's it. And even that, they didn't even use the hidden blade as a hidden blade. They swapped it around so that it's on the top of their arm instead of underneath the forearm. So you're like, yeah, I don't want them to see me coming. Like, bruh, Assassin's Creed, please, just be assassins. So despite this game being set in Japan, and of course I'm not so much I'm not expecting much from Yasuke, the samurai, because if you see any gameplay of him, he's just a big tank. There's nothing stealthy or assassin about him. But the female is, I believe she's a Konoichi. So that's everything assassin, pretty much. Stealth, quiet, that's assassin. So I'm just expecting a good assassin game. I just want to feel like a badass assassin at this point. I could care less about the story. People over here bugging over historical accuracies and all that, when the whole franchise of Assassin's Creed has been about, the concept of Assassin's Creed was about what you learned in history is not real, because Abstergo has been changing history to make you believe certain things. So the point of that, y'all forgot the whole concept of Assassin's Creed is nuts, because it's like the whole point of y'all saying, oh, Yasuke wasn't a real thing or whatever. The point was that you were told by Abstergo that that's not real. But we go through the animes that gives us the ability to relive our ancestors' memories, so we can see legitly what's the truth. So that's the whole fun part about it. It's a fictional world of a what if, like the whole concept of Assassin's Creed 2, where you become friends with Leonardo da Vinci. We all know him as a painter and an architect or whatever, but he's over here in the game helping you design assassin weapons. So where's that in the history books? So that's the whole point. So it's like, y'all can't, it just blows my mind that like we are in this time period where we just nitpicking about everything and going crazy about everything, bro. It's a video game. Escape reality, have fun, enjoy the story, move on to the next game. That's it. Like, damn. But yeah, so I don't know what's going on with people, man. I mean, people. But this is the Relaxing Thoughts podcast, not the crash out on people for just being people. No name calling here. So aside from gaming, I mean, yeah, pretty much that. I've been streaming music. Of course, I still doing music. I'm gonna drop my little mixtape on Valentine's Day, and then I'm making it official that digital relaxation project is gonna come out on April 29th. So if you care to hear my music, those are the dates. Life. So obviously we're still in winter, and like a few weeks ago, within a month ago, the weather got real cold, even though it had some snowstorms. Well, I wouldn't even call them storms, but we had some snow. going on. It got real cold, and usually I have these two portable like heaters in my home. Usually I keep one in my room and the other one outside, so like if I'm outside I can heat up the room or whatever. But it got so cold that the one outside barely does anything, so it's like I'm just wasting power for nothing. So I'm like, all right, I got central air, so let me just use that, and I use that to warm up the whole house, so that because it's annoying when my room is toasty because obviously I have my gaming stuff, my PC here, so just off that alone when I'm gaming, the console runs a little hot. And then of course if I do turn on the heater, that's just extra warmth. And then I go outside, like, let me go to the kitchen real quick, and it's just freaking freezing out there. So it's like it's a weird like shift. So like I went to go turn it on and it turns on, but then I noticed like the unit, the HVAC unit outside wasn't turning on. That's usually like filters in like the air and whatnot, so it can come in better. And yeah, so I'm like, oh well, I don't know what the hell that's going on there. So let me figure that out. Called a specialist and whatnot. They came over. He was checking things out. And basically found that he was like, oh, so the only thing I basically found out was that the unit's not getting a voltage. Like it's sending the signal to turn on, but it's not receiving it, so it's not turning. That's why it's not turning on. So he can't do nothing. So he's like, hey, I'll just call an electrician, and I'm like, great. So now I gotta wait for an electrician to come this week and see. Hopefully it can be a simple resolution and I won't have to dig deep in my pockets. But yeah, adulting. I put some things here, so like obviously I write some of my notes down on what I talk about, and I put things there, and I don't know why. I don't know. I just put changes in progression, and I can't think about what those are. So yeah, I don't know. That's life, I guess. Just gonna move on from there. So I guess we're gonna go to the main topic. I was doubting myself on this topic because I don't know why. I felt like I talked about this. I don't know if I dedicated an episode to it or if I just touched on it, and I don't want to, obviously, basically just redo an episode again. So, and then I can't even figure out if I did talk about it, if I named it something. I can't find it. So let me see. I'm gonna go on the website that I upload the podcast on and see if I can, because the actual website itself won't let me search by name. It only lets me search by the number for whatever reason. Building online relationships. Yeah, definitely need to talk about love. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm just gonna assume that I didn't talk about it. Even if I did talk about it, it wasn't recent enough where it's like, you gonna remember, oh, you talked about this in episode 13. Like that was a long time ago. So even episode 13 came out 2021. So yeah, even if I did talk about it, it was a while ago. So damn, just looking at that, like some of these episodes, it feels like I just talked about some of these things too, but it's like, nah, that was a long time ago. Damn. When did this first episode drop? October. So unfortunately, we won't end this on no anniversary, but it's been 4 years of Relaxing Thoughts podcast. So for those who stuck around or those who joined midway, appreciate you all. So yeah, going into the topic, probably maybe you heard me just mumble it under my breath, but talking, it's gonna be a 2-on-1 thing, but it's the whole concept of, and I guess it fits because Valentine Day is around the corner and I won't have an episode during that week, so this will be, I guess, that episode. It's not really a love episode, but it's more talking about the concept of I want to nitpick on the red pill community. Not so much bash because I don't really follow it to bash it, but I do see some things obviously that be going on and dive more into the situation. So I'm going to just Google what the red pill is for those who don't know. This is not the Matrix, unfortunately. And I hate that they're using the red pill as the name for it. That's why I hate. But the red pill, according to a website called Sage Journals, is a prominent manosphere community that promotes the belief that men are naturally dominant over women and advocates for a return to a so-called traditional gender roles. So, I can go both ways on that last part, but the naturally dominant part, no. So, yeah. So just going into the concept of, I guess, men believe in, not long story short, but for a better term, or for more youth, basically men believe that they are the prize. They are the ones who should be sought out for. As for women are just meant to just be there and just play their part. They're not supposed to really, have much of a say so on their love life and how they should go about their love life. This man is the guy that you're supposed to be working yourself to impress, and hopefully he picks you and you just are so lucky to be chosen by this very, I don't know what kind of man they are, but that man who with such value. So it doesn't take much to tell you how toxic that is. And this is going from a perspective of a person who has, I won't say troubling past with relationships, more so I have a troubling past with myself, and I feel most of these men have the similar issues, and obviously there's multiple ways you can go about dealing with these struggles within yourself, and these group of men choose to basically use it to lash out at other women and try to boost themselves up, most likely because probably they've been hurt in the past. So instead of they're like, and it's a typical thing of that nice guy who he would bend over backwards for you. He would do anything to make sure you're happy. He'd give you the world, and you just break his heart one time, and now he just turns into forget all these women, man. I'm just gonna be out here doing me, living life. I ain't gonna be tied down by these girls no more. They ain't loyal. You're valid to feel that way in the moment, but there's gonna have to be a point where you have to deal with yourself and deal with growing up. and not so much of an age thing, but more so growing up emotionally. Because depending on how old you were when you were hurt, your feelings probably aren't fully matured. A lot of people probably were hurt in high school, maybe early college. Like, your feelings are still not matured. As much as you think, probably even in college, you think you're an adult, they're still learning to do. It's the reason why you're in college. Like, there's still a learning aspect to yourself in life. And that's why, for me, because I realized what I've been doing wrong when it came to relationships and realizing my toxic ways and whatnot. Because I used to do, I talked about it on this podcast. I don't know what episode, but I used to do the whole, after being hurt, I would basically do the whole, I guess the gaslighting term, maybe. I'm not fond of that word. I'm not fond of how that word just randomly became a thing. I'm sure it's been a thing for a while, but it's just like out of the blue. But more so just like, guilt tripping and being very emotionally manipulative and abusive. Basically refusing to allow myself to be hurt. So I would basically try to hurt you back before you can hurt me anymore. So we both just gonna sit there and be hurt. But it would be to the point where obviously my partner would just be like, this ain't worth it, because it's just not good for themselves, clearly, because all I'm doing is just stressing them out and not making the situation great. So I basically just been on my whole, it's real well documented on my self journey in life about how I just sit here and focus on things in life. Focusing on, obviously, the main point of this podcast, focusing on bettering yourself, loving yourself, dealing with your mental health issues and all of that. What I wanted to say just slipped my mind. I'm mad. I'm mad. But yeah, bettering yourself, focusing on healing yourself, all of that good stuff, and of course the other stuff I've been worrying about, let alone dealing with the idea of romance and relationship. I've been dealing with, life, and living it and wanting to live it long and all of that good stuff. And of course I realized that there's a lot of times, I don't talk about this on podcast, but I'll talk about it now. There's been a lot of times where it's like, when I get very comfortable with life, I feel like things are going my way, there's not really too much, curveballs being thrown at me. Like right now, the most thing that's happening to me right now is the whole my air thing, but I can live with it. Like I said, I got my portable heater. It's cool. I just have to wear extra clothes, I guess. But I can live. It's just because this is my home. It's more so like in the event if I ever have to move or whatever, that's not something I want to be, this is broken. You selling us a broken home, basically. So, they can loom that over me. So I like to, cross my T's and dot my I's. When it comes to my household. But yeah, there's been times where I be feeling what's next? Cause I feel too comfortable. I feel too lax. I feel like what's next? And I figure out I think, and I don't want to rush into it, but I think about I guess I'll question myself. Am I at the stage? And am I at the age where should I be starting thinking about building that connection with someone and eventually get to the point where probably starting a family and all of that? Because it's I spent so much time focusing on myself that I feel like I'm not perfect, obviously, but I feel like I'm a lot more manageable compared to when I was a teenager in high school. That I think a relationship can be more healthy now. So I feel like I guess I've done a lot of searching for myself that now I guess I want to be able to share that energy and what I've been, internalizing on my healing and share it with someone else. And hopefully that person is on a similar path, if not above. I'm not gonna fault nobody on like, oh no, I meet someone and they come in here with all this baggage. Unfortunately, it's not my job to, heal you, but I'll do what I can to help guide you. It's like, it's the reason why I do the podcast. I can't, I don't have all the answers for you guys. I don't know. I'm still living life. And what I say here on this podcast isn't, 100% law. This is just how I feel about things. It's how I see things and my perspective. It's just an idea. It's an option, but you can find your own path. But maybe what I'm saying can get your foot, move your foot to the path. But how you walk that path and where you go and where you end up, the rest is on you. So, yeah, but getting back into the red pillars here. So a lot of, it comes from a lot of these men who probably were hurt and never found a way to properly heal themselves. And now they're denying themselves basically I'm gonna say love, but what I mean by love is not so much just the typical aspect of love, like just finding a girl to be with, but more so the nurturing aspect of it. And that's where the whole being more dominant than woman thing fails, because getting in touch to your feminine side, and not to take it that way, but there's a masculine and feminine side to both men and women. That what gives us the balance in life. That's the reason why certain of us, like as kids, it's funny to look at it this way. It's the reason why kids usually, when they're like babies or infants, or even when they're young kids before like teenage time, and depending on the relationship, it can grow past that. But usually, the son will gravitate more towards the mother, as the daughter will gravitate more towards the father, because you're already born with your masculine nature by being born what you are. Well, being born as a man for me. So it's not you don't have to be taught your masculinity. And this might sound wild, but you don't have to be, because it's the same way you don't really have to technically be taught right or wrong. Like, yes, you learn some things, but some things are in you, like, doing crazy like atrocities in life. It's in you to know that that's wrong for the most part. Like, you might question it, but you would never, like, it don't really cross your mind that hard for you to like think about doing it regularly. Like, someone just like makes you mad randomly, you just like, I'm just gonna end this person. Like, no, usually you just get mad, but you stop yourself before it gets far, and take a breather, relax, and you know that if I cross that line, that's bad. No one has to tell me that. It's just, it feels like that feeling. If your mind goes that too far, there's a feeling in you that feel like, stop, like, I can't, don't go that far now. It's not that deep. So being that, we're kind of already used to like being born who we are, it's kind of in us to be who we are. So when we gravitate towards the sons gravitate towards their mother, this is a new feeling for us. So we like, this is something new. This is something we feeling for the first time. The warmth of a mother, the embrace of a mother, the nurturing of the mother. This makes us very happy. And goes for the daughter, the gentleness of the father, the protectiveness of the father, always, the father, usually like the common trope of like, take the biggest, baddest looking dude, and when it comes to his daughter, that man just turns into a big old teddy bear because that's his little girl, no matter what. Like, that always, the point, like, like for fathers, like, I can't speak on it because I'm not a father, but my point of view, I feel like, for fathers, like, having a girl is like, that's like the embodiment of innocence. So you want to do anything possible to protect that innocence. So that's why it's like, and the daughter will gravitate towards that. The daughter will feel that energy, like, this man will do anything in his power to take care of me. And that's why we have those situations where, the trope of girls with daddy issues, and, usually the common, not all, but, the common stereotype of girls with daddy issues, it leads them towards the wrong path, especially in their romance life, in relationships, having them doing things with people they shouldn't be doing, or with multiple people they shouldn't be doing, instead of just, giving themselves to one person, and vice versa for men. But the more stereotype of how we look at it is usually women. Even like you just watch like something like watch, not to put any of these, like, the streamers, like the girl streamers who stream with like kind of revealing outfits, and you can see that one person in the comment like, oh, daddy issue behavior or whatever, or that one comment like, oh, no, fathers, you gotta stay in your daughter's lives or whatever. Cause they lose that if they know their father not around. They lose that feeling of what they should expect from a man. It's the whole point of when you find your partner. Usually, their love is supposed to remind you of that your mother or your father, depending on your gender and your preference. That nurturing of the mother, knowing that your mother, always there, take care of you or whatever. But also your mother, for sons, they keep it real with you, because they can't really teach you on how to be a man, so they can't give you the proper tough love that a father does, like the sternness, but it's like the attitude of like, like, you can't be disrespectful towards me just because, you getting mad or whatever. No, I'm still your mother. And that's the thing about a woman. Like, you and your woman get into get into like an argument, a fight or whatever. Just don't cross that line with your girl. Like, don't call out her name. Nothing. Like, y'all both disagree and keep it pushing, because better. Because you wouldn't do that with your mother. You respect your woman that much that you would respect your mother. So that's where I feel about the situation of, people who haven't properly healed from their past and disregard their upbringing and their life lessons and whatnot, or the lack of, if a son who didn't have their father in the house, you supposed to look at your parents, and this is where I have my, I won't even call it an issue, but my example of, you're supposed to look at your parents' relationship as a blueprint of what you want and how you should go about your romance. Now you see if your parents, like, they like to joke around with each other, they have their moments where they joke around with each other, they have their moments where they just chill in the house, watch movies, eat dinner, talk with each other. They have their moments where they bump heads, but you see that they still sticking together. Unfortunately for my parents, like I said, my parents' relationship, in my point of view, because I always say I have an older brother who 5 years older than me, so he had a longer time to see their relationship. As for me, by the time I really got to realize what's going on, their relationship was ending. So I never grew up with the blueprint. So that's why, again, I have my issues. When I went through my situation, as I got older, I didn't have a blueprint, so I didn't know what a strong romance relationship household looked like, seeing my mother and my father, with different partners, and it's, if those relationships didn't work or not. So I don't know what to believe in. Then I get older and I dabble into relationships, and then it doesn't work out for me. I don't know how to react about it. So I do what I did, but I took the time to finally deal with that and address those issues. So I could easily made the Relaxing Thoughts podcast man, these women ain't nothing podcast. But I took the time to deal with my situation and hopefully healed myself so that when I'm ready to get back out there, it'll be all good. So and going with the podcast situation, we know there's a lot of personalities, I guess. I don't know what term to use for these certain people who have built a name for themselves and a buzz for themselves for creating platforms where they are true advocates and pushers of the red pill life. It's you allowed to do what you want. You're allowed to say what you want, but certain things, it's like making certain content, you gotta have there has to be a history or a background that comes with why you're doing this. And I feel like for some people, you might probably figure it out, but they're not willing to admit it. The real reason why I'm doing this Red Pill podcast is not because, I just want to enlighten my men out here to do better for themselves, but no, why are you doing this podcast for you specifically? What does this do for you? And that's why, I think that's the most important question that needs to be answered before you get into content creating and whatnot. What do the Relaxing Thoughts podcast do for me? It allows me to say the things I say. It allows me to free all these thoughts and feelings out my head. Most of the things I talk about, like I said, I can give you examples through my personal life of how it relates. So it's a way for me to vent it out, get perspective for things in my life, and it helps me out. Because being stuck in my mind, I can't be stuck in my mind for too long, because then thoughts gets left. And if I don't have my anchors, my friends who I normally can talk to around, because they have lives too, this podcast is helpful, because now I can let it all out, take a deep breath. Now I could go on with the rest of my day. I'm going to stream after this and have a good time, and that's that. But what's the reason why these dudes? And I don't know if there's women who believe in the red pill, but what's the situation with these people why you make these content for yourself specifically? So why is it so deep for you to push the message that you are better than women and you need to be worshipped and valued to these women? What happened to you to make you feel that you need to really go out there? So it goes into a whole lot of situations with these guys, and like I said, possibly women. I'm not really into the community to know who's who and who's around. Love yourselves, man. I've probably been saying this since episode 1. You gotta love yourself. You got to. Yeah, I can't, because again, the whole it debunks the red pill community, all of that. You too focused on worrying about finding the right partner, finding out who's good for you, and all of that. And do you have a good relationship with yourself? That's what matters. Because if you did, you wouldn't be so worried about finding the right person who's right for you or whatnot. Because even if you don't find that person, I pray for everyone to find that person. I believe there's somebody for everybody. I'm only laughing because it's an insider for myself. But I believe this. Luckily, my friends or the main friend don't listen to this podcast, because they will know why I'm laughing. But I'm not gonna say it. But yeah, luckily, hopefully, there's somebody for you out there. But in the meantime, just build a relationship with yourself. Enjoy being with yourself, so that you won't ever have to be like, yo, what am I doing wrong? No, I just can't. No girls is coming. I can't talk to no girls or whatever. It will happen. But if you cool with being with yourself, it won't bother you. Because you have a great relationship with yourself. You're doing things with yourself, and that's probably when it happens. When you're doing things that you probably would do on a date with a girl, like go out, like I said, go out to eat by yourself somewhere, go out to a bookstore or somewhere, just do normal things that you probably would do with a girl, and it just so well, I'm not gonna say girl. I'm talking for myself as a man. Do with your partner, and possibly they might be in the same boat as you, and they're like, oh, this person, I don't see no one around them, but they're doing things that I'm doing, so it seems like we have similar interests, and why not see if we can just do it together? We're not like, oh, you like that book? Yeah, I like that. Oh, you come here all the year, blah blah blah. All right. But yeah, focus on loving yourself first. Don't be making content talking about why you shouldn't be loving certain type of people. Like, it's not your business. It's not your business, bro. As much as I know you feel like you advocating and trying to help, but at the end of the day, it's not your business. Who people want to love is who they want to love, and the situation is, a lot of these people that you tell them who they shouldn't be with, you gotta understand why they are the way they are. It's the same way you are. You guys have histories that y'all haven't come to terms with. It's the reason why, oh, don't go for the gold digging girl. Well, understand why she's the gold digging girl. Maybe again, if she doesn't have a father in her life, most likely the mom, usually the mom will have a similar situation. Similar situation. The father left, so she feels bitter resentment, like, no, these men ain't nothing. Yeah, and then she passes it down to the child. Oh, if you find a man, make sure he got money, he does this, man. Don't waste your time on these regular dudes or whatever, because once they get on, they find something better, they're gonna leave you. Blah blah blah. And it could be vice versa for. I don't. What's the equivalent to a dad telling a woman? Telling a son negative things about women. Just go into the red pill thought process. Man, these girls out here, they only want one thing, man. So, forget about, trying to be all over them. You gotta make them come to you. You gotta make yourself worth it. And, all of that good stuff. So, you gotta understand where everything comes from the background. You can't so much. My recording software done a couple of lags, so I don't know if my audio got cut out or not. But it's still doing it. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully it's not getting cut out. I'm just gonna keep talking. If it get cut out, we'll find out. But yeah, so the whole point of I guess the concept of what I'm saying, like second chances. I guess we can't judge the person on their past. And we can't judge them on what their past made them. It's more so if you see a potential with the person, you see something in the person that no one can see. That's the whole. That's why they said the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And I don't think you should take that so literal in terms of like, oh no, she looks good to me. It's more so that you see a potential in her, even though she currently looks like, oh no, she's just a gold digging type or whatever, but you see something like this, like that one little hint of resistance of that she really don't enjoy how she's living, but it seems like she's doing it out of necessity or whatever. Like, you can pick at that. So you can approach her, talk to her, get to really know the situation. And I'm not saying no, and there's that culture of don't save her, we ain't Superman. It's not so much about saving her, it's about finding the person that's for you. And if this person is for you, that person is willing to better themselves and deal with themselves for the sake of this is something that can really happen. And not so much that you forcing it on her, like, oh, you don't have to be doing this, but it's more so just treating her normally and get to the point where she realized, like, I don't have to be a certain way around this guy. Like, he gets me, he like the real me. So, you know, I can toss all that aside. You know, that's why, you know, and just like simple surface thing. Like I said, for me, like, you know, I don't like the concept of, you know, going to a club for a girl. That's personally not for me, because like I don't dig the club scene. I don't like the concept of it. You know, getting all dressed up and all of this fancy stuff. Like, you know, I'm a very casual person, so I don't want you to think that how I'm portraying myself in the club is how I really am. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm just there for whatever reason I'm here. But if you catch me at the bookstore looking at manga or whatever, that's a whole different. Now that's better. Like, oh, all right, I see what he's about. Like, all right, casual. So, you know, find this person that's for you. Find, you know, figure out what matters to you as well. I don't know what matters to these red pill guys in terms of when they picking their partner. Like, I don't know what's the checklist for them. Like, you know, she gotta have this and she gotta have that, and she can't do this, and I don't know. So, you know, deal with yourself first. You know, come to terms with yourself, love yourself, have a relationship with yourself, and then, you know, hopefully if you did have a good, you know, background, or not background, but more so a good foundation. That word is about to escape me. I'm gonna be mad. But you have a good foundation within your parents. If they have a good relationship, they still together. You can easily have a good checklist on how you hang out with yourself, how you treat yourself, and how you seen your parents treat each other, and be around each other. And you could build that's an easily checklist right there. Like, you see, all right, I want that, I want that, I want that. I want that love they have. You know, to quote the J. Cole rhyme, where, you know, I want that real love. You know, whatever, that Jada and real love. The point is that it was an example of a love that he's seen. So, you know, instead of him saying that, you know, he's supposed to say his mother and father. But I don't know his history. I don't know if his parents broke up or whatever. But that's the real love you're supposed to be quoting. Like, I want that real love. I want that love my parents got, because they still together to this day. Unfortunately, I don't have that. But I've seen the thing for me, what I've seen from both of them is that I've seen that they haven't given up. And that's the next thing too. So if you do have a family, who, I mean, you know, you do have your parents who didn't last long during your childhood, but you see they didn't give up on love, and they managed to find partners. And I understand that, you know, that's a tricky thing for kids. You know, they don't want, especially if both parents are still active, but, you know, they're just not together. Because, you know, like, you know, oh, and like, you know, this dude ain't gonna replace my father, or this woman ain't gonna replace my mother. But it's more so now that you get older and you get to see, like, you know, your parents have lives too. They have a life too. You know, they are still devoted to raising you. They, you know, if they co-parent properly, that's still the end goal. But we have a life too. We want to be with someone too. We want to grow old with somebody too. It just so happened that it's not your, you know, your father or your mother. And, you know, to see that they both didn't give up and still pursued other people, and you know, married other people. That gives me help of, like, you know, like I said, for me, you know, having my trouble and issues and relationships, and most of them not working out. But it shows me, you know, don't give up, because it's still possible. It's still possible. So yeah, don't give up, even if you don't have a solid background. Just like I said, just deal with yourself first. Love yourself first, you know. And I don't even want to say don't listen to these red pill people. Listen to them. Analyze them. That's why I want to say don't listen to them in terms of like follow what they say, but like listen to them as in literally listen to what they're saying, analyze what they're saying, and try to figure out why they're saying it. And then listen to someone like me who's like, listen to what I'm saying and listen to why I say what I say, even though I kind of say why I say what I say. But, you know, even you can figure out something different. And figure out, you know, and make decisions for yourself. Don't let any one media person that, you know, if you don't have, like I said, you know, if you don't have that parent in your life to give you those advice, you know, don't just listen to any media person though, and just take their word. as face value, because this is still your life. This is your experience. They can't have the experience you have, and you can't have the experience they have. As much as they tell you to do certain things, to live a certain lifestyle, your life still not gonna be theirs. You probably still might have ups and downs, and that's the part of the thing too. Like, no, they'll probably only tell you about the ups. They won't tell you the downs. They're like, what the hold on, I wasn't expecting this. They didn't talk about this part in the red pill relationship, dating life. Like, what is this here? This is you. So yeah, experience your own journey, experience your own life, and experience, a relationship with yourself. Build up a relationship with yourself. Don't let just that one person or that one media group or whatever just tell you how you should be living your life and who you should be dating. You find love sometimes at random moments. Sometimes if you're looking for it, and sometimes you looking for it, you can find it, but sometimes it finds you. You don't know. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of life. That's the experience. That's gonna be your experience. So, enjoy it. Look forward to it if it haven't happened to you yet, And yeah. But yeah, that's it, man. So I guess that's my Valentine love, even though I didn't really talk too romantical. But yeah, that's my episode. There you go. But yeah, so as always, if you guys enjoy this podcast, enjoy this episode, enjoy the topic, please be sure to share it, rate it, because you ain't gonna hear this topic from me again, and if I do ever come back. But this is it. We down to our final 5 episodes. I'm debating. I'm debating. And maybe someone can tell me. Mostly people don't tell me nothing. I'll probably ask people too. What I want to do. Episode 100 might not technically be an episode. It might just be like a thank you. Appreciate all y'all for listening and all that. I don't know, because I don't know what to say for a last episode. I can't do a legit topic for a last episode, so it'll be awkward. So I'm thinking, obviously, the episode before, the episode 99, of doing something possibly special. The idea of probably doing a live recording episode, and see if something happens there. I don't know. And then I'll just end it with 100, give my thanks and all of that. But I don't know. I'll figure something out. But like I said, until then, man, we're approaching the chapter, the closing of the chapter of this podcast. And, hopefully, I don't know. I won't say hopefully, I can open it back up. More so, hopefully, I just keep pushing. Maybe I'll start another podcast or whatever. It doesn't have to be this. Because, not everything needs to be revived. Not everything needs to be rebooted. It has a beginning, it has an end. That's the journey. Hopefully you guys enjoy the journey. And more importantly, the journey will be here as long as internet allows it to be here. So, you're welcome to come back to listen to the podcast from the start to end anytime you want. It's a fun thing to do too. I listen to some of my podcasts. I listen to like the older episodes to hear like the growth, the mindset, and hear about what was happening at the time period. Like, oh yeah, this is episodes in 2014. I'm like, damn, like things are sounding. It's funny how things are sounding back then, but then you compare it to now, and like thinking about how it was when you was actually in that moment. But yeah, so yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the episode, all of that good stuff, and yeah, till next episode, have a great day, have a great week, have a great Valentine for everyone, if you in a relationship or not. Love yourself. You are your Valentine, and then and yeah. Peace.